Alright guys, today we're going to be reacting to how to accept Germans. First of all, I have to say thank you so much for the support for all you folks that have really supported the channel. Me and my family, we really appreciate it. Right now my tongue is a little bit heavy because, I don't know, I'm hurt to my right side. Like I have an ulcer or something like that. I cannot speak clearly. But we're going to try my best. Thank you so much for everything, all the comments that you guys have been leaving in my YouTube channel. I'm very blessed. But we're gonna just react to this video. Let's jump in.
Today we're in Freiburg, Germany, and today we're going to talk about how you could upset Germans when you come here as a traveler, because we want to make sure we're ingratiating ourselves to the locals, and we don't want to do the faux pas that might make our German friends a bit ärgerlich, a little upset, okay? And I think the first thing you need to realize, the first way you can upset a German is just being late. Germans are all about being pünktlich, about being on time. If you have a meeting and it's at 9 o'clock in the morning, that doesn't mean you show up at 9. That means you're in the office, you're in the room where the meeting's going to happen at 8:55. So right at 9 a.m., the questions start going, okay? So always be on time. And if you're going to be late, let the people know, because one, they're not going to be appreciative that you're late, but they will want to know what's going on. Now, another thing that might upset your German friends is if you get a little Jeiny, okay? Which I like to say is, Jein is yes and no, ja and nein put together, okay? It's kind of like, yeah, no, I'm not sure. Look, Germans do not like uncertainty. They do not like risk. They want to know what's going on. They want the certainty of, are you coming or not? And if you're kind of flippy floppy, if you're thinking about ghosting your German...
Hey, I like that. I like that. Something that is I just simply don't like. It's just, I don't know, maybes kind of people. This is good culture.
Friends, that stuff doesn't happen here, okay? You need to be more like, yes, I'm going to do it, no, I'm going to not. Because if you're not, that kind of upsets them, because they want to make sure all their plans are set, okay? And I think one of the things that's important for you to know is, since the Germans are very direct, they're not insulted if you're direct to them. So if you don't want to do something or you can't do something, don't try to figure out an excuse. Just let them know, hey, I can't come, and they'll be okay with that. But just telling them yes and then not showing up, the whole ghosting thing, not cool here in Germany, okay? So have a heads up. Now, the third way you can upset Germans when you're here is if you assume that everybody in Germany is from Bavaria and wears lederhosen. Look, people wear lederhosen at Oktoberfest, and most of those are actually tourists, okay? Germany is a very diverse country. I mean, going to Munich and Bavaria is a very different experience than going to Hamburg or coming here to Freiburg or going to Berlin. You have such variety in this country that when they think that people are thinking they're all the same and they're all Bavarians with the big beer steins and stuff, that doesn't go over very well. And if you actually know Germans, you'll know that if they're not from...
Well, who are the people thinking that? If I go to Germany, I'm not going to think that they're all the same. It's like going to Spain. Not everybody's from Madrid. You know that, right? Who's thinking that? Who is thinking that every German is the same? Every Germany from north, south, east, west is the same. Who's thinking that?
From Bavaria, they like to make fun of the Bavarians. Now, another thing that tourists do that might upset the locals, and definitely will upset a few omas, grandmas, and opas, grandpas along the way, is if you jaywalk. And when I talk about jaywalking, I'm not saying like the middle of the road. I'm saying when you're at the crosswalk and the little Ampelmännchen, the street light guy is there telling you don't walk, and you go. I mean, I lived in Germany for a number of years, and when I've done that, like, people really put their arm out and stop me, and they're like, what are you doing?
Wow.
Sein full.
So New Yorkers will have a huge problem going there, right?
For the Kinder, be an example for the children. I'm like, there's no kids around here. There's no cars. What's going on? No, follow the rules. Otherwise, they're going to be upset.
It doesn't mean because kids are not there, you should not do it. You should do it, I will say. Good example.
And crossing the street against the light is one of those things. There's even a saying, bei Rot musst du stehen, bei Grün darfst du gehen, which is by red, you have to stay. But by green, you're allowed to go, all right? So just know that, young, old, male, female, whatever, you just know the Germans are like, no, we're gonna wait until the light lets us go, okay?
Good.
Another thing that might upset your German friends when you're here, and this is one thing that my students that have studied in Germany have brought up to me, and when I've had students that work with German exchange students, and that is, you might upset them if you don't agree with them on certain things, because Germans like to do a lot of research. They want to make sure they know as much.
Really, do you guys get upset if I don't agree with you guys? I'm not gonna agree with you guys in everything. I'm just keeping 100. If that means I'm, you know, a lot of Germans are gonna go against me, so be it. But I'm not gonna be. You like to be. If you guys like to be honest and straightforward, how is it that if you don't agree with them, it's straightforward? That's a like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something that's not making sense. You're like straightforward. So I mean, some people is gonna be straightforward with you. That means that they're not gonna agree with you.
As they can before they make decisions, so they feel that they have the best answer possible. And if you don't agree with them, they don't understand why you wouldn't, because they've done all this research. So that's where
They
I've
don't.
seen in business settings and group project settings
Oy.
where people have gotten some upset feelings from both the Germans and from the locals. So just have a heads up with that. But don't think the Germans are all stiff and no fun. They will do parties. They will have a fun time with the party. And one thing I want to tell you though is you might upset people if you don't.
Who is thinking like that, man? I don't think Germans are stiff and no party. Or who's thinking that? It might be coming from him, but I'm not thinking that. Interesting. I might be wrong here.
Follow the party rules, okay? Because if your German friend of yours invites you to a party, they're inviting you. Not you and your friend and your other friends. No.
Good point.
It's very much just you are invited. There's no plus one. If you want a
Cool.
plus one, you need to ask them, and they'll probably say no, okay, or 9. But just know that they're very specific when they do ask you to come to a party, okay? So don't overdo it. Also, I learned this when I lived here for a number of years, is if you're going to be having a party, let's say you're staying here, you're going to school here, you're moving here, and you want to have a party and it's in your apartment building, you need to let your neighbors know that you're going to have that party. I mean, you don't have to invite them, but you need to let them know it's going to happen. Otherwise, they might be a little upset, which I learned from a lady dumping a bucket of water into my apartment. So just have a heads
Oh,
up
wow.
on that one. Now, another time you might
That's crazy.
see an upset German, and this isn't your fault at all, this is their fault, is if you're taking a train on a Friday or a Sunday when they're really, really busy, and you have a seat reservation, and you go to your seat reservation on the ICE, and somebody's sitting in that seat. And you tell them, Entschuldigung, das ist meins. Like, excuse me, this is mine. Oh, they're not going to be happy because they got this seat and they're figuring no one's going to show up in it, so they're going to take it without a reservation. Don't be surprised if they ask you to show your reservation to prove it's your seat, and then they'll look at you like, oh, you took my seat. No, lady, didn't take your seat. I spent the €4 to get the reservation, all right? So do have a heads up for that. Now, sometimes you don't even realize you're upsetting people when you travel, and that's okay.
Damn.
And the Germans have a fantastic way of letting you know that you messed up. And that's when you hear, hallo. When you hear someone say hello really loud, I mean, if it's soft, it's hello, it's like hello. But if it's hello, it's like hello, moron. You're doing
Hello.
something wrong. Whether you went in the wrong door at a museum, or you're in the wrong bathroom, or you're doing something you're not supposed to, or your kids are doing something stupid. Look, that hello will let you know that you upset somebody, all right? So just have a heads up when you hear that, because you'll be like, what's something here? It's just a way they get your attention, all right? Now, another thing you might do that might hurt your German friends' feelings is insinuate that they're cheap. Now, Germans are cool if you say they're frugal, they're
What? How? That I was not even thinking that. Wow.
economical, no
Insinuate
problem
that
with
they're
that.
cheap?
But if you insinuate that they're cheap, that's when they're like, hey,
have good
we're
prices,
not cheap.
man.
We've got money. I'm like, I know,
No, they have good prices. What are you talking about? That Aldi in Germany is top notch.
I know. But the thing is if you talk to, in Canada and the US, you talk to waiters about tipping, they don't like German tourists because they don't tip as well. Now, they leave some money, but they
I've never heard that before. Never in my life. Hey, those are Germans. Let me just. What? That's crazy.
don't
man.
usually leave the 15 to 20% like you're supposed to. They'll leave like 5% or $3 on a $100 bill, So it is one of those things that if you insinuate like, dude, that's kind of cheap, you'll see them be upset. And I'm sure in the comments below, you'll see those things there. Or you might invite them over to a party and you're like, hey, we're all bringing a potluck over, bring some food, and they might show up with some Maggi spaghetti instead of something else. So don't insinuate they're cheap. It won't go over well, all right? Just say, very economical choice, very frugal choice, smart business move, okay? So have a heads up with that. Now, another
They're just
thing
different,
that you'll
that's it.
learn very quickly is a way you're gonna upset your German friends is if you try to take their food or their drink. Because in some countries, when you order food, like everybody's food's kind of
Ooh, yes, this is the part that I love. Hold up.
drink. Because in some countries,
Ooh, look at that. That's actually pork, right? And that's the potato thingy. I'm actually looking for bacon here. I'm actually looking forward to try that potato stuff.
countries, when you order food, like everybody's food's kind of everybody else's, and we can try this. Like we're in Italy, like, oh, try this, have some of this, have some of this polenta. Portugal, it's like every plate is everybody's,
Yeah.
right? In Germany, it's not that way.
It's the Mediterranean feeling because Puerto Ricans are like that. They're all like that. So it's a Mediterranean feeling.
That's my bratwurst. That is my spätzle. That is my beer. You don't get it. And so if you go and take some, especially without asking, it's going to upset them. And even if you do ask, they say yes. Just know in their mind, they're like, ich wollte nein sagen. I wanted to say no, but they were very polite and said yes. So just know they don't like sharing their
And they know about
stuff,
food, that's
okay?
for sure.
If you've gotten this far in the video, another thing you might notice that Germans might not like and that you might upset them with is if you point out any of the eccentricities of the Germans and German culture. So look in the comments below and you'll notice some comments of people like pointing out some things I'm messing up and how they're going to be right about it, okay? Now another way you might upset Germans when you come here is if you recycle wrong. I mean, I lived here a number of years and the recycle program here is legit. The Grüne Punkt, it's like this little like arrow going around. It's called the green point. They have lots and lots of different kinds of recycling here. So
Of course, we want to keep things clean. Man, there's some people that are stupid in this world. I'm gonna say it. Man, German has it correctly here. Man, you follow the instructions. It's recycle. If it is just regular trash, regular trash.
It's not just paper and plastic, it's paper, plastic, glass, different kinds of glass, all kinds of stuff that's out there. They have that set up and people are very serious about it. So you want to make sure
What's up with this
you're
dude?
putting the right stuff in the right recycle bin and the right garbage going in the right place because they do a really good job with that. And it really upsets people when you don't. And there's things economically that will get you to incentivize you to make sure you're recycling correctly because they have these things called a fund, a deposit like on beer glasses beer glasses, but like beer bottles and soda bottles and stuff like that. So you don't just throw it away, you take it back, get your money back so they can recycle it easier, okay?
Yeah.
So be aware of that one. Now my next one for you that might upset the Germans when you're here is if you drive in Germany not like a German. Look, Germans are very much, we're about our Auto, our car, right? And so they've got the Autobahn when they're going way faster than you think you are. So move over because you staying in the left lane.
Yeah. So the left lane in the Autobahn is fast, right? And the right lane in the Autobahn is just, you're going fast, but in the slower side, right? Does that make sense, guys? Let me know in the comment section.
That Indiana drivers, you can't do that here in Germany. You got to stay to the right because people will pass you by. No matter how fast you think you're going, someone else is going to zoom past you in a Porsche, a BMW, or Mercedes, all right? And the Germans do get upset when people don't drive the German way when they're here. So I do recommend maybe take a class about driving or watch some videos on driving in Germany before you come.
No, video
because
will
then
not
you'll
help.
be better prepared and less likely to upset and get, not necessarily road rage, but just upset Germans driving next to you. And also, don't expect a really good cup holder for your big gulp in a German car. And they don't understand why, okay? So leave that there, all right? And then I want to finish off by another thing that really upsets Germans, and that is if you make Nazi jokes, okay? The history of Germany.
But who's thinking about that, man? Who's thinking about making Nazi jokes? I just don't understand. You know what, folks? I might be naive in this thing, so I'm just going to be honest with y'all. There could be a probability that I'm naive. But who's thinking to go to Germany to do Nazi jokes? Of course it's disrespectful. That makes sense. Maybe there's people doing it.
Germany and the Nazi National Socialist Party that was in power here for a number of years, and World War II and the Holocaust and everything is it is a stain on the world history, not just German history, but the world's history. And if you make light of that, you make Nazi jokes, you make Hitler jokes and stuff like that, that does not go over well here. People do not like that. That is something that
It should not, yeah.
they're ashamed of themselves, and you may think it's a fun joke, I'm poking fun at things. It's not. It is not something that you joke about when you are here, okay? Because that will upset the locals, and I just want you to know that, all right? So those are some ways.
It's like the Confederacy in the United States. People make jokes of Confederates in, our history. That's fine. But we are used to it. You see what I'm saying? We are used to that. But Germany, I don't think they're in that level, though.
You might upset your German friends when you're here in Germany. But what are some ways you've accidentally upset some of your German friends? Let us know in the comment section.
How did I upset them? I don't know. Talking about freedom of speech, freedom of expression. I'm just kidding. I don't know. What do you guys think? If is he accurate with these assessments? Is this true? Are these a list of things that you guys really get upset? I'm just saying, right? The last one is understandable. I think the Autobahn one, I know you guys were saying in the comment section, is kind of, it is like a boner. The other one is, what's the other one? Uh, the Time. I think that one's, again, that's a good one as well. Commitment is another one. Straightforward, but when you're straightforward, they don't like it. That's the one that I'm like, okay, I don't know what's going on here. Because if you're straightforward and I don't agree with you, that's me being straightforward and direct. Hey, it's like, man, it's the saying, hey, German friend, I understand you have that opinion, but I don't agree with you. You have to deal with it. You see, that's straightforward, right? Is that straightforward? Is that the straightforwardness that he's talking about? Let me know in the comment section below. I don't know. Great video though. I mean, man, I would like to react more to food. I ain't gonna lie, man. That food video. He showed more food in this video. Oh my god. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Like always, I will see you in the next one.